What is going on YouTube? It is TJ Lawton here, and today I want to show you a really cool free little Max for Live plugin you can get that's going to like make your sounds 10 times more interesting in 30 seconds or less. Guaranteed you should be doing this on every sound unless you have a specific reason not to. But this is going to make stuff sound so much cooler, so much more interesting, and really bring your track to life. And yeah, I love this. So without any further ado, let's get into it. What we're talking about today is LFOs. Of course, everyone knows what LFOs are. If you use Serum or something like that, they've got LFOs built in. It's really good. But did you know that you can actually LFO anything, any parameter from any VST or not, stock or external, and bring a lot of interest to your sound? Let's have a look at this first LFO I've got going on here. It's a very simple LFO, just messing with the jitter knob here on a Decimort 2. So if I turn off the LFO and listen to this sound now, quite just drony, quite cool sound. But let's say, and I'm going to exaggerate this, so I'm going to pull this number up to 100 here, and I'm going to turn it on. You're going to see this jitter knob starts moving around. Now I've got it also on 50% jitter and 100% smooth, and this just so the parameters a bit more random, which is what I want for this sound. I've got other examples here of stuff that's a bit more smooth, but we'll start with something that's a bit more random. And you'll hear this starts to add in some like flaky white noise to sort of add an analog tape hit saturation, an analog tape hiss sort of emulation. Okay, those flaky little electronic tape hisses, really nice. Now usually I have this on 45, so it's a bit more subtle. You can hear it just adds a bit of emphasis to things. Now, second up, I've got some claps here. So going from a drone now to some drums. I've got a J37 here, which is basically just controlling a very, very tight delay. You might call this a spring delay or something. And I'm just controlling the feedback amount, and I'm also controlling the time parameter of how many milliseconds between each delay. Now I'm going to turn off these LFOs first and just hear what the claps sound like with static delay on them, I suppose. And here's what it sounds without the delay, so you can hear just a clap. Very basic. Now with the delay. And now with the LFOs. Now you notice I've got two LFOs here. I've got one controlling the time and one controlling the feedback. And they're both set on different timings so that you're never going to get the same delay twice. Adds a lot of interest, a lot of randomization, but the clap is still on every 2 and 4, therefore it's still going to play. It's not going to be, the rhythm's not going to be random, it's just the effect's going to be random. I think this is really awesome for adding a lot of interest, and obviously you can put this on like a return channel if you wanted and make it a bit more subtle. But yeah, that's another thing you could do with like drums. You could do this with hi-hats as well, so maybe with delay you could do it with like white noise, so you can bring up flakes of white noise onto the hi-hat and stuff like that. Really, really cool. And just to show you what you can do with plugins, what you can do with like soft synths like Diva as well. Now Diva does have LFOs built in, but they're a bit tricky, at least for me. I haven't really figured out fully how to use the LFOs yet. Unlike Serum, where you just drag and drop it on, it's super simple. I wouldn't use like an external LFO tool for Serum, for example, because you can literally LFO everything quite easily with Serum. So what I've got here is you can see on the LFO tool, you can actually click on here and you can set multiple parameters. You can set the LFO to multiple parameters. So here I've got it set to both the decays, and you'll hear it now, it will just open and close the decay very subtly. This is nice to just add, taking a very basic sound and making it more interesting and more movement. Let's turn the LFO off real quick and just hear what it sounds like without it. And now with it. Obviously I can control each decay, I control the amount of how much it opens. This one might go 45 to 100, and this one I might go 35 to say 50. And you see now they're both on the same LFO going up and down at the same time, but the ranges are now different. see how you can add some LFOs to your sound, make them so much more interesting very, very quickly. Less than 30 seconds it takes to set this up. It's completely free via, not, I wouldn't even know if you call it a VST, I guess you would, but it's a Max for Live sort of tool. You can download it off the Max for Live website. It's free download, and you just stick it straight into Ableton and you're good to go. Absolutely amazing. I stick this on almost everything. Just find a parameter you think that would be good if it changed over time and just put some LFO on it. And you got different parameters. You can obviously set it by rate, loose rate, so you can go as fast or slow as you want without being synced. You can sync it, of course. You can have depth, which is sort of like your dry wet knob. You got jitter, which I really like, and then you can add smoothness to smoothen it out, and that gives it more of a human feel rather than just being a robotic, completely perfect sort of wave. And then you got different waves. So if I turn these down, you can see we've got up. That's kind of like a saw wave, upward saw wave. Then we've got downward saw wave, triangle, square, random. So if we speed this up. And then with random as well, you can see it's quite janky, but you can actually control the jitter and the smoothness. And you can turn that random into more of, looks more like one of those heart monitors they have in hospitals, right? Apart from this one, if that was your heart, you probably should go hospital. And then you got one called bin here, which I'm not really sure what that means, but it looks pretty cool and looks very random. Let me just turn the jitter and the smoothness off. Okay, it seems to be sort of like a square wave set to random intervals, but yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, that's the LFO tool. Grab this, it's completely free. It's going to make your sound so much more interesting. You can stick it on almost anything, and once you do save some parameters, you can come in here, you can put it into a group, Control G, and you can save this and you can make a sound out of it, and you can save that in your library forever. And you're like, as soon as you put that in, it's got all the parameters. You can even like hotkey these, not hotkey, you can also map these parameters. So let's say you want to change the rate over time, you can come in here and you can change the rate, so you can have more control over your LFOs and stuff like that. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Get this tool, it's going to help you tremendously. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.